Fan i helvete, folkens. My name is Mengs, and guess what? We got more Fire Emblem 16 news, and this might be the craziest bit of news we have gotten so far. Those leaks are starting to look more and more credible, because we drug draw up in here, boys. Holy Blood is back. Let's just jump straight into it. So again, this is another article released on Serenus Forests. As always, I'll link it so you can read it below. Let's start off by talking about the Crests. So, when I first heard about the Crests, I thought that they would be physical objects. My money was on there being 3 different Crests, and when you combine them all together, you create the Fire Emblem. No. Crests are not physical objects, they are actually Holy Blood markings, and they come in minor and major forms, straight out of Genealogy of the Holy War. If you haven't played Fire Emblem 4, there was something called a Holy Blood system. You could check the bloodlines of various characters in-game, and if they were part of a certain lineage, their blood would light up, and they could either have a minor or major Holy Blood. This is the exact same. These crests have various shapes. They get passed down from generation to generation. Sometimes they manifest themselves in minor forms. Most of the characters we know thus far are minor Holy Blood characters, and very rarely does it manifest itself in a major way. Only Beleth and Felix, 2 of the characters we've seen so far, are major blood characters. Most of the other nobles are actually minor Holy Blood characters, including Edelgard, Claude, and Dimitri. So this is super exciting. This really reminds me a lot of Genealogy of the Holy War, which is a Let's Play that I am doing on the channel right now, so that is super exciting. So these crests aren't just for show, they apparently manifest themselves in physical and magical abilities, indicating that very much like the Holy Blood in Fire Emblem 4 would affect growth rates and weapon ranks, I am pretty sure that these crests are going to do much of the same. They probably will impact growth rates, they might impact the various ranks that we see, maybe they'll give you some sort of hidden ability. We've gotten a bunch of crests listed here along with characters as well as personal skills, which is what we'll go over next. Let's talk about Beleth. Beleth is a major Holy Blood character, and he or she comes with the crest of question mark. It's sort of, it looks like a dark crest, a little bit similar like the Loptir Holy Blood in Fire Emblem 4. And what's even more interesting is that we see this crest on Sothis as well, and this very much shows that Beleth is at least half Manakete. I think that Geralt got together with a dragon or a Manakete. The mother of Beleth, who we know is dead, was most likely a distant relative to Sothis. Now, if it turns out that we can marry Sothis, that's pretty fucked up, because these crests are apparently passed down via bloodline, which means that you are related to Sothis. Maybe I'm misunderstanding, maybe they're actually not passed down via bloodline, but that's what I'm reading here. So if it is a possibility that we can marry Sothis in the game, that means incest. But hey, Genealogy of the Holy War, so yeah, okay. So Beleth's personal skill is called Teacher's Guidance, and it boosts the user's and adjacent allies' experience gains by 1.2, aka 20%. This is very similar to Robin's skill from Awakening. It sort of falls into the whole teacher gimmick, so this makes total sense. Then we have Edelgard. She is also a minor Holy Blood character. She has the minor crest of Cyros. That's very interesting. She actually has the same crest as the religion of Fodlan, but this makes sense as the Andrestian Empire has heavy ties to the Church of Cyros. So the description reads, a minor crest said to have belonged to the divine Cyros. Her personal skill is called Imperial Bloodline. She gets 20% increased experience gains. Plain and simple, it's just like Corin's personal skill from Fates. Then we have Dimitri. Both Dimitri and Claude have the same personal skill as Edelgard, just with different names. They both get 20% extra experience gains, but Dimitri's skill is called Royal Bloodline, and Dimitri also is a minor crest character. His crest is called Bladed, or whatever, I have no idea how to pronounce that, and it is a minor crest said to belong to Bladed of Fodlan's 10 Greats. Then we have Claude, and again, Claude has the same personal skill, just that it's called Alliance Bloodline. He gets 20% increased experience gains, and his crest is a minor crest of Reagan. It reads, a minor crest said to have belonged to Reagan of the Fodlan's 10 Greats. Then we come to Hubert, and Hubert does not have a crest, despite being a noble. The description of the crests reads that they get passed down, but not always, and sometimes they manifest in greater form. So, despite being a noble, Hubert does not have a crest, but he has a personal skill called Strategist, which boosts Gambit Might by 5. We'll talk more about Gambits later on. We've gotten some information about how they work now. Then we have Dorothea, and her skill is called Songstress. At the start of each turn, she restores adjacent allies' hit points by 10%. That's basically like a mini version of Amaterasu. She basically gives AoE healing to everyone around her. and the fact that she has a skill called Songstress very much indicate that she will be the singer of the group. Then we have Dudu. People don't like that I call him Dudu, but I think it's a funny name. He does not have a Crests, and his personal skill is called League's Shield. If he waits, he gets +4 defense for 1 turn, so he's very much built up to be a tank. Then we come to Felix, a new character that has just been revealed, and he is actually a major Crest character. And his description reads, a sarcastic guy who affectionately calls his childhood buddy Dimitri a bore. He trained to hone his swordsmanship. His personal skill is called Solitary Wolf. When a battalion is not deployed or when a battalion health is 0, he deals 5 extra damage. So he fights better alone. You can fight without battalions. So we'll talk more about battalions in a bit. He has a crest of Faldarius, and it just says in his description here a crest. It doesn't say minor crests. So aside from Byleth, he's the only person who has a crest instead of a minor crest, which translates basically meaning he is a major Holy Blood character, if we use genealogy terms. And this crest reads, a crest said to have belonged to Faldarius of Fodlan's 10 Greats. Then we come to Lorenz. He is also a minor crest character. His personal skill is called Prestigious Noble. When a battalion is deployed, he gets damage dealt +2, so he's better at fighting with battalions. Again, more on battalions later. He comes with a minor crest of Gloucester, or Gloucester, I have no idea how you pronounce this. A minor crest set to belong to Gloucester of Fodlan's 10 Greats. Then we come to Hilda, and she has also gotten her character information released. It reads, the only daughter from a duke's family. She's a lady who's good at acting cute. She adores fashionable and glamorous things. Basically, she's Sarah. Her personal skill is called Personal Plead. When entering a battle with an adjacent male ally, she gains damage dealt +3. So she's better fighting next to males. Go figure. She has a minor crest of Goneril. A minor crest said to belong to Goneril of Fodlan's 10 Greats. So far there are a total of 21 crests that are supposedly in existence, and we have been revealed 11 of them, which means that there are 10 crests yet to be shown off. That's a hell of a lot more than the 12 Crusaders of genealogy, or the original 3 crests that I thought was going to be in place. Next, let us talk about battalions, and this is the big one. We know that squad-based combat will be a thing in Treehouses, and now we know how it works. So battalions are actually hired, kind of like mercenaries. You can get your first battalions hired from the Knights Guild, and basically how they work is that you attach them to a character and they grant bonus stats, and they actually have a health bar of their own. You remember that little Triforce that we often see next to characters in screenshots? That Triforce actually shows off the health of your battalion. When it's on 3 crystals, the battalion is healthy. When it's on 2, it's on half health, and when it's on 1, it's close to death. Here is a list of all the various battalions that you can hire. I don't think these will be all of them, but there are some of them. You can see that they have an authority requirement, so the higher your authority rank is, the better squad you can command. So the battalion has a health stat, as you may see, and how this works is that when your character leading a battalion takes damage, the battalion's health will decrease first, and once it reaches 0 health, the battalion's effect will disappear and the gambits that they employ cannot be used. However, you can restore your battalion's health at a guild. For E to D rank battalions, it seems to cost 1 gold per health, while C rank battalions cost 2 gold per health, so the higher the rank of the battalion, the more expensive they are to heal. However, this means that battalions effectively act as a shield, and they also seem expendable. I mean, they cost money, but you can actually let them die, and then you can heal them up later. So attaching a battalion to your unit will protect them and also buff their stats. Each squad will grant your character bonus stats when attached to it, and they will also allow you to perform a gambit. So for example, let's take a look at the Zero's Magic Brigade. It actually lowers your strength by 2, so they can actually negatively impact your stats. Grants you magic +1, hit rate +0, critical +0, avoid +0, defense +0, resistance +3, and charm +3. Then we have the Zero's Cavalry Brigade. They have 60 HP, grants you +2 strength, -1 magic, 0 hit, 0 crit, +1 avoid, +1 defense, +1 resistance, and +5 charm. I don't know what charm is. Additionally, battalions can also level up. We see this here in the screenshot where Petra is fighting alongside a battalion, and it shows that they are getting experience. I'm not sure if losing a battalion will lose experience. I don't think this will be the case. So this just means that if you let a battalion fight alongside a character for longer periods of time, that battalion will grow stronger. Next, let's talk about gambits. Gambits is sort of one of the new big moves in Treehouses. And gambits are special attacks that you can perform when you are traveling with a squad. Gambits can deal damage, but they can also do other things like provide support. When you use a gambit, enemies cannot counter-attack you, and multiple enemies can be targeted at the same time, meaning you can use area of effect attacks. However, their uses are limited. Most gambits can only be used once. So here we see a gambit called Coordinated Lance Assaults, and its description reads, hits one enemy on the left and right of the targeted foe. This gambit causes the distress status, reduces all stats by 10%, prevents movement, stat boosts from battalions and gambits. Can be used at least twice. So you can actually use this to immobilize an enemy and reduce their stats. Stat reductions will very much be a thing. Then we have another gambit called Godspeed Preparation. For one turn, increases the movement of allies by 5, targets an adjacent ally and seems to apply the effect to all allies within a 2-tile radius of the target, or maybe just a triangle with the user at the center of the target edge. Can be used at least twice. Here we see it being used. That is crazy. +5 move? That is ridiculous. That will double the movement of a lot of units. That is absolutely crazy. Then we have another one called Lure Scheme, and it says targets an adjacent foe and moves them to the tile behind the user. Also creates a special tile where the foe used to be, which triggers the same effects. Also seems to inflict distress on the foe. So you can basically yoink enemies over to your side, and then you can yoink more. So Gambit seems ridiculously strong, and this seems very much a reason to level up your authority, so your characters can lead more advanced battalions. Next up, let's talk about the new weapon type, Gauntlets. So Gauntlets are a new type of weapons that you can use to attack with, similar to swords, axes, and lances. And what's so special about Gauntlets is that they are effectively a brave weapon. When equipping a Gauntlet, you will attack twice, and if you have more than 4 speed, than your opponents, you will actually do a quadruple attack. This is also very interesting because they just revealed that the speed formula in Tree Houses will be 4 speed more instead of the 5 that we've had in previous installments. However, there is a drawback. Gauntlets cannot be equipped when riding a horse or Pegasus, so they are exclusively an infantry weapon, but they seem really strong. Next up, let's talk about some classes. As we know, most units at the Academy start out either as Commoner or Nobles, which is sort of like a blank canvas class, similar to the Villager from Echoes. After level 5, they can promote to a class. So let's take a look at them. Here we have the Mercenary. Mercenaries who fulfill their objective, excellent strength and speed. Good old Mercenary, they seem to employ swords and axes. Then we have Cavaliers, rider who rides into battle on horseback. After fighting, they can move again. Canto confirmed. And this is confirmed to be the Path of Radiance version of Canto, which means Super Canto. Not the Super Canto from Fire Emblem 4 where you can equip weapons again apparently, but you can strike and then retreat back. So mounted units will be pretty goddamn good. So Cavaliers, they use swords and lances. Then we see Brigands, axe fighters with exceptional strength. With their excellent vitality, they fare well on the front lines, and they use axes and fist weapons. Then we have a new class called the Brawler, a gauntlet wielder who fights at close combat. They're adept at swift attacks. Sounds really cool. Their class skill is called Barehanded Battle. User can fight without a weapon equipped. So that's very interesting. Turns out that they don't need gauntlets to hit, they can just punch with their fists. Apparently, this class is male exclusive, meaning females cannot become brawlers. Then we have the good old Mage, and here we see Dorothea as a mage, sadly without her hat. Turns out some class promotions will actually take away her hat. This is a travesty. A practitioner of black magic. Good at fighting foes with high defense. The class can equip magic. So here we see the mage who specializes in what I think is dark and light magic, as well as anime magic. Their class skill is fire. Enables the use of fire. If already learned, doubles the number of uses. It would appear to me that you can attack with a Fire Tome, but with this skill, the Fire Tome doubles its durability. Then we have the Dark Mage, a practitioner of dark magic, good at fighting foes with high defense. This class can equip magic. Their class skill is Miasma, enables the use of Miasma, if already learned, double the number of uses, again similar to the fire thing. They have a class skill called Hex, reduces the avoid of adjacent foes by 20. This one we've seen before in both Fates and Awakening. It says here that dark magic should not be confused with black magic, which appears to be the collective term for offensive magic. Just like the Brawler, the Dark Mages are locked exclusively to males. So far, we have not gotten any information about a female-only class. However, there is a battalion known as the Zero's Maiden Squadron, so that might indicate that there is some sort of Saint class that is exclusive to females. We just haven't heard about it yet. Finally, we got a bit of information regarding the lore. It turns out that the fight scene that we see in the very first trailer with this Valkyrie lady and this evil-looking man is actually a flashback. It's supposed to show off a great conflict that happened a long time ago. This blonde woman is most likely a distant ancestor of Rhea, the Archbishop of the Church of Ceros. And this man that we see attacking here is called Nemesis, and you can actually see his crests is similar to Byleth, indicating that he is the ancestor of Byleth. And he is supposed to be some sort of dark guy fighting against the Holy Woman. So it's very much a battle of dark versus light here, very similar to Narga versus Luptir in Fire Emblem 4. So I think we can pretty much assume that Byleth is going to sort of have a dark heritage of sorts, and Robin was also a tactician, whereas Byleth is a teacher, so it seems like we have some parallels right here. Your crest is very much supposed to be darkness, and we can see Byleth's powers are often shrouded in shadows. Yeah, I think we can see clearly where the story is going. So that is it, ladies and gentlemen, for this roundup of news. Again, once more information is released, I will be there to cover it. I hope you guys are enjoying these news updates so far. I think this might be the most amount of videos I have ever uploaded in a single day. I have been editing all day. I'm going to go take a nap now, guys. Hopefully you guys enjoy this news update. Anyway, my name has been Mangs. Give this video a like and a comment, and let me know what you think about these updates. And I shall see you guys next time. Bye-bye.